What is up? What is up, everyone who is watching at home? We are live at Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta. Oh, we're ready. I mean, we're going straight into it. Hello, they are announcing the castaways right outside. We're going to start having people filter in here. We are going to go through and talk about the latest episode that just happened last week, as well as what we can expect going into tonight's episode. So for everyone watching at home, I wanted to go ahead and introduce the people joining me in Atlanta today. Well, you told me to go ahead. Sorry. Oh, I'm just welcoming you.
Hello, stream. Hear me?
Okay, so do you want
If you are at home and watching our live stream, let us know that you are here by leaving us a comment in the live chat. Can't wait to see what you all have to say.
Go to our Instagram and vote on our polls.
Yes, there. Vote on the poll.
Comment or whatever. Answer box.
Make sure my sound is off.
Yeah.
Ballsy's message. He did check on the message. It's.
So I have been like this fast, which was nice. They made nice.
Okay, so that makes sense about Christmas. So, who's cat business? And
Yeah.
So I was worried about the big.
Sorry. Sorry. How do we sound with the mics on stream? Can you hear us?
Angelo, you still up there, brother? Is there, it's okay if we don't have anything. I know we sent in a logo to have behind us. Do you know anything of that or have that?
I said that, but if you can extend it real quick, I can give you my email.
Yeah. Okay. No, we're okay. Okay, we're all good.
Yeah.
So they're doing the introductions right now. We hear the fans going crazy out in the atrium as they introduce castaways from all different seasons. I guess while everyone waits at home for us to get started, we're going to talk plenty about Survivor 48. But first off, I want to ask you guys, there's a lot of amazing castaways here. If you guys can ever make it down to Ron Clark's Academy in Atlanta, you got to come down for it because the school is magical. It is an experience. Let me just say that. Tori, I'm going to start with you. Is there any castaway you're excited to meet?
So I was excited for all of the people that I saw that were going to be here. The one that I think I was the most excited for was Ozzy, who I did get to meet earlier. And I also was just really excited to meet Tiffany from 46. Was that 46?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tiffany from 46, shout out. She's one of my faves from the new era. And I did get to meet her as well. So those were really fun, but a lot of really nice players.
Icons, and they're their own ways. Matthew, going to you.
It was kind of overwhelming, but I have to go with Carolyn. I mean, she was just on an incredible season of The Traitors. See her in person was kind of a shock to the system.
Yeah, I mean, and if you guys have never met Carolyn, she is the same person that you see on the show. Like, it is backbone the exact same. Kara, I see you down there. Who did you meet, or who were you excited to meet at this event?
I was also really excited to see Carolyn because it's just crazy to see someone like that in real life. Like, she's so cool.
But I was really excited to see the cast of 48, just to see them in real life and like in front of you versus just on TV. It's just crazy.
Yeah, there's so many castaways that I was excited for. Obviously, I want to talk about. I don't think he's here yet, but actually, no. I want to talk about Chris Underwood. That's someone that I was looking forward to. That I wanted to give a shout out. We all talk about Chris Underwood's win and how he got that win. I've always been a huge fan of Chris, so meeting him. See, maybe they're introducing him right now. We can hear everybody outside. And we're excited for them to shuffle in. Let's go ahead for the people at home. By the way, if you're watching at home, we can't react to your chat, but go ahead and hop in the live chat, interact with each other, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's talk about Survivor 48 as a whole, as we kind of warm up and get people to come in here. Tori, what have you thought so far? And we'll touch base on it here in a little bit as well, but what have you thought about Survivor 48?
I have really enjoyed it. I thought that this has been a really strong cast so far. And so I've just been really enjoying them. I don't think it's my favorite of the new era only because
A little.
Who's in here?
I know.
In a safe space.
That's true. That's true. Only because I feel like I'd like to get to know some of the players more, and that's my only reason. It's still just as entertaining, just as fun. But I felt like in the seasons that have been my favorite, I've known the players more, and so that way, when things happen similar to how they happen on 48, I felt like I was more excited to see it.
And we're going to talk a lot about the players later on, kind of touch base. We're at the final 10 right now. This is where the game really begins to get good. I know, I believe Kara's checking our audio and everything right now.
Looks good.
It's all good? It's all good? Awesome.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Gemini.
Yeah. What are they saying in the chat while we have it right now?
They're saying the video's looking a little fuzzy, but that's okay. Okay, we're gonna do audio today.
Me too. Awesome. So, Matthew, talking to you about Survivor 48, what have you thought about the season thus far?
Well, I was really happy to find out that Mitch is a former mailman. I thought that was
Oh, I heard this story.
Yeah, we have a milk. I hope you did. It was in the episode. There was
I
a
watched the episode.
mailman and a milkman. I think it's perfect. Maybe they're gonna be a pair. Who knows?
The mailman and the milkman, or we? And Kara, 48 so far. I think it's been electric. I think every tribal council has been really entertaining in the sense of a lot of drama. We've seen a lot of blind sides as well. Have you been enjoying this season thus far?
I've been enjoying it, but like Tori said, and I said it on social last week, I feel like I just don't know the players, all of them as much. But I'm really enjoying what we're seeing, and I don't know. I think it's about to get so much better now.
And
Last episode.
okay, let's touch on last episode while we have some time to kill here. I mean, we saw two icons kind of go out, and we'll touch base again on this a little bit later on. But we saw Say and Cedric both get the boot. Cedric going to the jury. Say was the last pre-merge player. Kara, you've been very vocal about last episode, about it was a very straightforward episode. So what was your overall feeling about it?
Not my favorite episode. I felt like there was a lot of opportunity for it to be so much more exciting. I was hoping when Chrissy was talking, Joe and Eva were going to start whispering and maybe have a live tribal and be like, let's vote Chrissy out. You know, she's going against our whole alliance. What we stand for. But, you know,
Wouldn't that have been so cool?
it would have been amazing.
I love Chrissy, but that was a wild tribal
That
council.
was insane.
I was more interested in watching these tribal councils go down when Kyle it looked like Kyle was ready to make a move specifically against, correct me if I'm wrong, was it David?
Shaheen.
Yeah, Shaheen. Thank you. It was Kyle trying to make a move against Shaheen. I was really interested if he was ready to pull the trigger because we saw in the preview for tonight's episode that it looks like these power players are getting ready to go at each other. Do we expect that maybe to happen sooner rather than later?
I definitely think it's going to happen either this week or next week. A good point was made by somebody else. So this is something that I can't take credit for, but somebody mentioned that you just have to strike at the right time when you're someone that's kind of like in between the way that Kyle is and kind of the way that Shaheen is in a way as well. Because if you strike too early and you're wrong, you're done. But if you strike too late, then you're just pretty much locked into that alliance and you missed your chance. So I think that either this week or next week would be the perfect time. Otherwise, I mean, Kyle kind of has to ride with that strong alliance to the end. I definitely think going back to last episode, what I kind of wanted to see, just from a viewer's point of view, I totally understand, players' standpoint, the reasons for doing certain things, but I definitely wanted to see Say and Mitch put their differences aside for one vote and to come together and figure out a way to just sort of go against that majority alliance. I thought that would have been really entertaining, and I was kind of rooting for that in a way, but overall, I totally understand.
I wonder if they had more time together, if that was something that was going to be possible. Obviously, everyone was blindsided by the fact that we were doing that thing where they split the tribe, the newly merged tribe, split them into two. One tribe goes to tribal council first. That person does not make it into the jury. Second tribe goes, and then that person makes jury. So I wonder if they just had a little bit more time to work together.
Yeah, it's definitely tough with those split tribals and the groups that you're in specifically. It's interesting to see the dynamics that all come together. I mean, we saw Mitch's attitude last week where it was going into tribal council, survive and advance. He didn't feel like he had any of his allies with him. So he's like, how can I navigate this vote to make sure it's not me tonight? Luckily for Mitch, he was not the overall target. So, Kara, I mean, that's what we got to talk about with these players as they try to navigate these different social dynamics. On Survivor Social, you guys talk about social dynamics and social play in the game of Survivor. So what did you see last week with these players trying to just survive, like Mitch said?
Yeah, one thing I found so interesting was them really talking about who they want and who they don't want on the jury. I feel like we don't see a lot of that conversation happening. So I thought that was so cool for them, like to see their thought process and like who do we want sitting there. And I agree. I think it would have been too soon to strike at Shaheen. I think that would have been bad for Kyle and Camilla had they have done that. So I think that was a good, socially aware thing of them to do, to not do it yet, but to start planting the seeds that they need for the coming episodes.
I was praying for it. I was like, come on, I don't go the easy vote. And it looks like Cedric can say we're going to be the easy vote. And that ended up being what happened.
It would have been great TV had Shaheen gone and they did go through with the plan, but I think it would have been bad for their actual game.
Oh yeah, where does that leave David then? Because he has a giant alliance of 5 people, and if he turns on that now it's 4, and now it's just going to eat themselves.
Yeah.
The alliances it's an interesting thing because we've seen a lot of tight duos this season, which don't worry, we're going to get to the duos here in a little bit. But we see this very strong alliance form, Tori, and it's this very strong group, and it looks like they can go to the end together. Do we have faith that they can stick it out and make it deep into the game?
It's tough because that's a strong alliance. And so there's a good chance that one of those people is probably going to at least have a really good shot of winning immunity every time. So one of them each time is going to be safe. So that makes things a little bit harder. And they seem pretty ride or die. However, if Kyle is able to make a move with Camilla with that kind of like minority alliance of like what would be perceived as less strong people, even though that may not be the case. But if he's able to make that move, then I don't see it riding to the end. Overall, I don't see it going all the way through. I think that somebody's going to get cut before those 5 can make final 5.
That, I feel like similarly, that's probably where we're leading to, but we have seen tight groups make it as far as possible. It's just a matter of can they keep the numbers. I'm reading some of the comments that you are all leaving on the live stream. Jay says, and we're going back a little bit, Jay says, I don't know about every tribal being great, but the pre-merge was definitely one of the top 2 best pre-merges of the new era.
I agree with that.
Totally.
And Jay agrees with you. He says, agree, Tori. Wish Mitch and Say work together, but it is what it is.
Okay, can we, while we have a little bit extra time here, can we talk about the pre-merge people that went out this season and how so many of them were iconic? I mean, I'm bringing up Kevin, I thought was someone who could go really far in this game. I'm a big, is that the dive?
That's my Kevin. I've been taking photos of myself doing that all over Atlanta.
I'll get hurt if I definitely do that. But Charity, another person that I was really looking forward to seeing play this game. Say had a lot of buildup, especially early on in the game, and we can't forget Thomas. I mean,
Gone too soon. I think all of them.
So,
And Young again.
yes, I love them all.
And Justin.
Strong pre-merge. Strong pre-merge.
yeah. But I mean, if you had to choose a player that you were really sad we aren't seeing continue on, who's that one player that stuck out to you as being, man, they had a good grip on the game, wrong position, wrong time?
Thomas. Definitely Thomas for me. He seemed really smart. He was going to hold on to that advantage ultimately. That was kind of part of the nail in the coffin, one of the nails in the coffin for him. But it seemed like he had a plan and he wasn't around long enough to see it through.
You have something to add on?
I agree. He he had the right idea with not telling people about the advantage, but it was wrong timing for him. And I think Bianca also would have done really well socially had she gone further. I really just think the little twists and the journeys are what messed them up, and losing votes. Had that not happened, I think the game would have been so different.
I'm trying to pull up the polls right now. We have polls on Instagram for you guys to vote on. I'm not having any luck pulling that up, so we'll definitely come back to those at the moment. Let's talk about tonight's episode and what we can expect moving forward. And Matthew, I'm going to go to you for this. Final 10. This is where the game gets really challenging. What are you expecting heading into tonight's?
I am hoping for some sort of an upset, some sort of a blind side, some sort of, something that we can't really see coming. Or I love when there's a lot of options on the menu for who's going to go home. Obviously, I don't like seeing anyone's game end, especially when we're not close to the end. But, for entertainment purposes, I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I do wonder if we're going to get another tribal council where it seems to be headed in a specific direction.
Oh, do you want to elaborate on that?
Is it going to be Chrissy? I think after last episode, we saw Chrissy have a pretty interesting tribal council. So we'll see if that's going to get her tonight.
Anybody else have any feelings about going into tonight's episode? Because I think, I've been saying it, we had the weird purgatory. I think going into tonight, it's game time. Right. I almost see this as the playoffs. Cedric was the first member of the jury. We have our final 10. This is where you really have to decide, is it time to make a move? Right. And we saw that in the preview for tonight's episode, where we see a lot of people running around and being like, David is causing chaos. Why is he doing this? And David's like, it's time to do something. So we keep kind of tiptoeing around it. When is the right time to make a move? It's always the biggest question on a Survivor season, because we saw last week where Kyle said, look, I don't really trust Shaheen. He's in my alliance. But at the end of the day, I know Shaheen is going to make a move against me. I want to make sure that I strike first. When is that right time? Because Matthew, you said, Kara, I believe you said it as well. It's a little too early right this second, but.
Well, last round when they were split was.
Oh, it's different now. It's different.
Yeah, no, that's what I meant before. Sorry, maybe it wasn't clear, but I meant like that last round with the split triangles. Like that was too soon. But now I think now it's fine.
Yeah, we're all together now. Everyone's going to be voting together, ideally. We'll see if there's any other twists Jeff would like to throw at everyone. But I'm curious to see this group as we move forward, what they're going to do.
I definitely think it's now or not. I don't want to say never, but it's going to be really hard after this if I don't know what to call the alliance that's not like the David Alliance. I don't know if they really have a name that they're going by. Yeah, the less strong alliance, if you will, even though I don't perceive them that way. But anyway, I think that it's either this week or it's kind of going to be really, really hard, because then it's going to be 4 and 5. And it's just going to be a lot. It's still going to be hard this week, because if all 5 of those less strong people come together, that would, split vote half and half. And so that would require, some strategy involved in that, but it's still doable this week. So I think it's this week, or we might see that strong alliance ride till the end.
I wonder if this week we're going to see, kind of building off of what you were saying, Tori, I wonder if we're going to see the 5 who are not in the main alliance. I'm wondering if they're going to be tricked into splitting those votes and have the main alliance go after a specific target, or if they're going to come together and say, this kind of feels like a little bit more than just the pairs that we've been seeing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we're gonna see those 5 come together, if they even realize that they need to come together and go against the other 5. I don't know. I feel like if that happens, I feel like it has to come from Camilla because she knows what's happening on the other side. I feel like she could be the one to really rally them together and be like, you gotta make a move against them. And then Kyle can like flip it out.
I agree with the Camilla thing. She's a really strong player and she has the strategic mind to be able to pull something off.
Yeah.
I just have to say, I don't know if you guys can hear this at home, but I can't stress enough. One, I'm going to take this opportunity while we have time here to thank Ron Clark and his amazing crew. And we got to see the school earlier today, and that was an incredible experience. But they are going nuts outside. This place is going to be erupting. Did I say erupting? Erupting. Words are difficult. This place is going to be erupting as soon as they come in. Let's go ahead and touch base on, we talk about power alliances. Who are the power players? That's what I want to talk about right now. Who is someone you have your eye on as like, this is the most dangerous person in the game? Because personally, I was wrong about her when we made our preseason predictions because I had her going out very early. I don't think you brought up Camilla. I don't think anybody is paying attention to Camilla right now. And I think she has a very strong game and a very strong resume right now as well. So who's sticking out to you as someone that people need to watch out for?
I would definitely say Camilla is dangerous. However, like I said, she's got to make that move sooner rather than later. In the same vein, I think that Kyle is very dangerous because he is in the middle. He has connections on both sides. He can kind of pick where he wants to go, but that decision does need to be made pretty soon.
Yeah, Jay says don't jinx Camilla.
I'm sorry. I'm
Sorry,
trying.
Jay.
I have that power to jinx someone, and hopefully she doesn't end up going home this evening. But I think
She'll put that out there.
Sometimes I do get those feelings where I'm like, am I going to change the outcome of an episode that was filmed a year ago by being like this?
Look, Camilla was not my winner pick, right? It's Kyle. Kyle is the person who's taken on the Randy curse of being my winner pick this season. But yeah, I'm very sorry to put that out there. But no, Camilla, I think it's just a player that's under the radar, very under the radar at the moment. Matthew, who do you got as a player that we need to watch out for?
Sheila in the chat just put it. It's Star.
It's like, who's Sheila?
Yeah.
Where is Sheila?
Sheila is one of our viewers, but I agree. I think Star is in a great position, especially now after the tribe swaps and the merge and the fake merge and the two-split merge.
And then giving the idol away.
And giving the idol away, it actually put Star in an incredible position. And now I feel like I'm seeing her with a lot of people that want to work with her. So hoping that we keep going down that trajectory. I love what Star said in the last episode, where she said, I'm glad I'm at jury, but I don't want to make the jury. I want to be at that final tribal council. I think that's an excellent mindset.
Are we just going to pass over the fact that, I mean, you brought it up, but Star gave her idol to Eva in a move that I was kind of on the side of, go get your idol back. So you thought it's actually a great move for Star to hand that over.
It's turned out to be a pretty great move, seeing her position now.
Kara, who's sticking out to you?
Sticking out to me.
Oh, you can answer that too. That's fine.
I mean, I agree. I think Camilla, I think Star, those are the people I was gonna say. I don't know. One of my favorite people to watch is David, though. I think he's so fun to watch. I'm excited to see what happens in this next episode with him and how I'm rooting for him.
The chocolate milk man himself. Well, that's where I was going to go next. Is we talk about who the big players are. Who are you rooting on? So we can kind of talk about David a little bit. David is a player who's came out very strong this season and has played, I think, a really good game. He's obviously going to be good at challenges. Last week, we saw how great he was in that individual immunity challenge where he said, I could do this all day. He had his arm behind his head and everything. It was really funny. Kara, David is looking really good. What is his path to get farther in this game?
I think he is great at making the social connections. He's obviously great at winning challenges. Like he could probably just win out and get to the end that way if he needed to, but I don't think he needs to. I think people like him. People want him around. So I think he'd go far. I do believe he will go far. I think he'll be the end.
Anybody believe David will not go far and want to say it?
I think medium, because I think that he's really trusting this alliance and that it's going to just kind of like be, those five are just going to kind of roll to the end and then they'll deal with the five when they get there. I just think that something is going to get in his way that he doesn't expect.
I'm torn.
Between medium and going far in the game?
Yeah. No, I think the thing is, like, look, David's getting so much love in the live chat right now. Kendra says, let's go, David. Jay says, hot take. But I think David is the #1 contender to win right now. Well, yeah.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that take though.
He's getting so much, like, he's one of the people we see so much of. We know his story, we know all about him. And it just would feel so random to, like, include all that, not include anyone else, and then he doesn't go far.
I was going to say also, Joseph Flora in the chat says Kyle or Camilla.
That's kind of where I'm leaning right now. Like I am really, when I see that duo, and I did get the results up. So we asked people about duos, which you can vote on our Instagram every single week for the pre-show. So I said, which duo is the strongest? And the options were Kyle, Camilla, Joe and Eva, or someone else. 6% said someone else, maybe a duo that we're not talking about, like David and his milk. Joe and Eva got 20 votes, 40%. And then 54% to Kyle and Camilla, because that's how I'm seeing this game right now. I think Kyle and Camilla they're in such a good spot. I think they can go really far, really deep, and I actually think they're both going to end up making the final two. Is how I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, both of them make it to final 2.
Well, final three, yes. Two of the
there's-
spots in the final 3, I think, are going to go to Kyle and Camilla. I don't see them turning on each other, and I kind of see it as a situation where Kyle takes Camilla to take. I mean, they keep preaching loyalty. That's this whole alliance is about. We've got 5 strong players who want to be loyal, and even though Camilla is not in that group per se, Kyle said, I have Camilla in my back pocket. I think that's the #1 person he's looking to be loyal to, and I think they're going to be loyal to the very end of this game.
I don't hate that take either. However, I think that if they make their move, at some point it's going to become visible to everybody else that they are a duo. Right now, nobody knows. It's like still nobody has any idea. But at some point, people are going to know. And so I think one of them might be one of those, like, you know, final 5, like, strong player vote outs. A lot of times we see, like, a lot of, like, the really, really strong players go out final 5, final 6, something like that. But yeah, Kyle was my original winner pick. I feel like I say that every week. And he did say here today at this event that he wanted us to tell everyone that he's taller than David. I did not measure them back to back. I don't think any of us did. But Kyle, you're taller than David.
Totally.
On screen. And I hope that they come in here to hear that.
So much taller in real life. I did not expect him to be taller than David.
It's weird when you see these castaways heights.
All right, wait, hold on. Ollie is in the chat, and we have to give Ollie a voice here, my co-host of Got Something For You, along with Phil. Ollie says Mary and herself are an iconic duo.
So love it, Ollie.
Well, welcome. It looks like we've got our first people coming in. Welcome. Get your seats, everybody. Welcome to the Survivor 48 pre-show. While you guys come in, my name is Randy. We run the Survivor Now podcast. This is Tori. This is Matthew. This is come on in. Hello, everybody. How we doing tonight? How we doing? Yeah, I heard someone.
The people behind.
All right, welcome. We heard you guys out there screaming, so I know that it was an incredible time. Welcome, everybody. All right, so if you guys are just joining us, we are here to take you up to tonight's airing of the episode 8 of Survivor 48. So let's loop back around to what we were talking about a little bit earlier. How are we feeling about the season thus far compared to every other season we've seen in this new era? Because it seems like Jeff from production really began to figure everything out with about season 44 and on. It started getting really, really good. Matthew, I'll go to you first. What are we thinking about Survivor 48 thus far compared to these new era seasons?
I have been loving the tribal councils, especially pre-merge. We were talking about it a little bit before. For those of you who just joined, welcome. We do have a live stream going on right now. It is happening. We weren't just here talking to ourselves.
So thank you for specifying.
You're welcome. So for me, it really was the tribal councils. I mean, I'm not sure if any of you in the audience agree. Were there any great blindsides that we have seen? Especially, yes, right? Especially during the pre-merge, I thought were really special. We talked about Thomas. We talked about Bianca. There are some exciting things that happened.
That's what we were talking about earlier. Each tribal council literally feels like a movie almost with the drama that goes on. We've got people in our live chat right now. Kara, add on to it. And every single tribal council has you on the edge of your seat. even last week when it looked like Cedric and Say were going to be the easy vote outs, we did see some drama where we had Kyle saying, when is it going to be the right time to make a move against Shaheen? Is it this week? He ended up not doing it, ended up getting out Cedric, but it could be something that we see in tonight's episode.
Yeah, going into that tribal council, I was still like, okay, they could go say, they could go Cedric, but I was still thinking, you know what, maybe they're gonna go back.
Nobody at least you.
I've
I've got one other person too. Let's.
Sorry, add on to this. I mean, this is a season that has had some incredible moments. I know I have to bring up the Eva and Joe connection that we've had. Are there any Eva and Joe fans here tonight? That's what I'm talking about. Let's get the energy up here. Everyone loves Joe and Eva. This has been a season of really good historic moments that are going to live down, in Survivor history. What has really stuck out to you so far this season? It can be a player, it can be a moment. What has got you excited to tune into Survivor 48 each week?
Yeah, a lot of things get me to tune in. Honestly, it's been a great season. I couldn't agree more about the blind sides. I did not love the dice rolling, I gotta say. That's been like the one thing that really kind of upset me, but only because it was a game of chicken.
You were down with.
Lost their vote and got voted out.
It's the oyster.
But getting past that, I think that all the players have been really interesting. We've gotten a lot of duos. I think I brought that up on the podcast recently. So it's been kind of like a season of duos that stick out. Joe and Eva, obviously, but also Kyle and Camilla. Kyle was my first season. Yeah, I am obsessed with both of them. And I'm really, I'm rooting for a lot of people. That it's hard not to root for people on this season, but really rooting for them.
Yeah, it's been, we haven't even talked about the cast yet. The cast has been incredible. By the way, for everyone joining us, we are the Survivor Now podcast. You can check us out, survivornowpodcast.com, or go over to our Instagram. There are live polls. You guys can interact with us as well on our Instagram stories that we will definitely talk about here as well as we take you up to the airing of the episode. Let's talk about duos, because Jeff Probst even said going into this season that duos were going to stand out. I'm going to say a duo. I want you guys to give a reaction based off how far you think they can go into the game, okay? So let's see how confident they are. Let's go back. Kyle and Camilla, how deep can they go in this game? All right, we got some Kyle and Camilla fans. Okay, how about Joe and Eva? Anybody? Joe and Eva? How about David and his milk? Okay, so Kara, I'm gonna go down to you. Who's standing out in terms of duos, and who do you think can actually work well together to the end of the game? Because Tori said this earlier. We see it with duos. They get to the final five. You end up cutting your number one ally to make it farther because you don't think you can beat them. You don't want to go up against them. Who's caught your eye?
Duo as like for duos.
Yeah, as to
Definitely Kyle and Camilla. I definitely think they're gonna go as far as they could possibly go together. And I think in the end that if I feel like they're gonna have the mindset, if I don't win, I want you to win. So I think you're gonna take each other as far as they possibly can.
It's hard to argue, Matthew. It's hard. We've seen Kyle continuously talk about loyalty. It's hard to imagine that he's actually going to go against Camilla and cut that duo. Do you see it happen?
Only if he has to, or only if she has to, I feel like, for their games to progress. But I have a question for everyone in the crowd. We were here on stage doing a live stream. We do have our camera over there, and thank you all for joining us before the episode. Who got the biggest reaction when they walked out?
Mary, yes! We didn't even mention Mary for like pre-mergers or no, she's still in it. My bad. We were talking about pre-mergers. Yeah, Matthew, the look you gave me, we're going to talk. Anyways, let's talk about the pre-merge game. A lot of icons went out. Let's see if we have any Thomas fans in the building. Anybody? Okay, let's talk about Justin. Justin? Okay. How about, who else? Charity? Anybody? Charity fans? Who stuck out to you guys? Kevin? Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. Who stuck out to you? Really quick, let's have fun with this one. Who do you wish went farther in the game?
Say! I know Say had an incredible run on the episodes that she was there for. I still want to see more. So I'm on Survivor 50.
Anybody say for 50? Yeah.
Their story's not finished.
No, it can be. Tori, anyone else who stuck out to you pre-merge was?
Definitely Thomas. I really enjoyed Thomas. I was saying earlier on our live stream that it seemed like Thomas really had a strategic mind. He went in with a plan. It just wasn't his time. You know, like people struck before he could. And yeah, that was a real bummer because I really enjoyed him.
Kara, do you have anyone else you want to bring up as, I mean, you did really bad in your draft, Kara. I'm so
Finding me.
I'm so sorry.
I think I picked the best three actually, and I think all three deserve a second chance. But I want to talk about Bianca because I think she had a good plan going into that tribal council, and had Cedric not talked about why Justin went out, and then she told Cedric about not having a board. I think her plan would have worked.
Definitely agree. I got to get the crowd reaction here as people continue to filter in. Find your seats, everyone. Welcome. This is the Survivor 48 pre-show. We're getting you hyped for tonight. What do we think about the season thus far? We loving it? Everybody, yeah. Let's talk about tonight. We're going into episode 8, right? The Mergatory is done with. We have done that whole thing. We're down to the final 10. It's looking like it's time to hit the gas. When do you make a big move? We saw the preview for tonight's episode. We saw everybody running around talking about David, right? David's causing chaos. Do we think there's going to be a big move in tonight's episode? Are we expecting a blindside, or are we expecting someone who hasn't really got a footing in the game to be kind of a guinea pig that they sent home tonight?
I think we're going to see a big move tonight. I don't think the big move is going to be against David because I feel like what they show us in the preview for the next week, it's hardly under what actually happens. That's my only reason. But yeah, I think there's going to be a big move tonight.
I don't think it's David. And we're going to get to our official predictions. I'm watching the time as we are just a little under 30 minutes here. Matthew, what are you expecting heading into tonight's episode?
I think it's going to be a relatively simple one. I don't like saying that word because it never ends up simple, as we all know. But I think the options really for me are either Mitch or Chrissy. And I'm leaning towards Chrissy because we all saw that tribal council that happened last week. It didn't go great there, I felt. So we'll see if she's able to talk her way out of her answer to Jeff.
I'm a little nervous about Chrissy, but to me, in a roundabout way, Chrissy seems like the obvious person that could be going home tonight from an edit standpoint. And I'm like, do we get that again? An obvious boot. We just saw last week with Cedric and Say, where it looked like both of them were going to go home. They both ended up going home. Kara, who do you have your eye on? Who do you think could be in trouble heading into tonight's episode?
I agree. I think Christy definitely could be in trouble with.
Yeah.
I think we might see an idol play tonight. I think an idol play, and I think it could accidentally get out someone that we might not want to go.
So let's talk about the advantages here.
Wait, can I say who I think is going home? Because I didn't say that. I just said okay. I think for the big move that I think is going to happen, I think it's going to be Joe.
Whoa! Care to explain a little bit?
I just think that the alliance that's not the David alliance is going to realize that they need to make a move and they are going to want to, I think, split up a duo.
It's definitely too early. By the way, Bryce Isaiah, everybody. It's interesting. Love you, Bryce. It's interesting as well because Eva has the idol. So Joe leaving the game. Do you see Eva pulling that trigger and not playing it? Do they leave her out of it? That's kind of where my mindset is at. And you guys can definitely talk to me later and tell me that I was definitely wrong. Because I hope this is not the avenue that we're going down. I think Mitch is going home, guys. As much as I would not like to see it, I think Mitch might be in trouble tonight. It would be a big move. It wouldn't be that grand move that definitely gets you a lot of jury votes. But I think Mitch is someone that not a lot of people are looking at. We kind of started seeing it last week when he was brought up as Joe brought it up. Look, no one's talking about Mitch right now and how good he is at challenges, how good he is socially. A lot of people aren't talking about how great of a social player Mitch is. So I'm a little worried about that. We've got a few more minutes, so they gave us till 7:40, and then we have to clear the stage here. Final predictions, Kara, about tonight's episode.
I think it's going to be Chrissy.
Yeah. Bye bye.
A lot of people don't want Chrissy? Oh.
Not here.
No, we're fine with it. It's a
Matthew, what about you?
It's a good favorite.
Chrissy,
Chrissy, that's 2 votes, Chrissy.
I'm gonna stick with Joe. However, if they do stick with a straightforward vote, I'm with you on the Mitch. I think it's gonna be Mitch. Unfortunate.
I'm gonna go with either Mitch or you could get Eva's Idol out. Everybody knows about it. We saw Star start playing last week. I can definitely see one of those two. Again, guys, we want to welcome you to the Ron Clark Academy here in Atlanta. I know it has been a fabulous event. I want to take a quick second to thank Ron Clark and his amazing crew. Can we give them a round of applause? Absolutely amazing. We got a tour of the school earlier. This place is magical. Let me just say, it's something. I've never seen anything like it. Again, my name is Randy. This is Tori. This is Matthew, and that's Kara. You can check us out if you're interested to check out our content. We started the Survivor Now podcast for season 41, back when everyone was creating podcasts. And since then, we've made it global. We cover Survivor UK. When that was going on, we covered Survivor South Africa. Any Australian Survivor fans here? Yes, what a season we just had. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. But we also host exit interviews for Survivor of Australia. So you can check out all the information on our social media, Instagram at Survivor Now Podcast, or you can go to survivornowpodcast.com. Or we will be here all night having fun with you guys watching the episode. We have these lanyards. We have QR codes that will take you straight to where you need to go. So thank you guys so much for coming out. Let's enjoy episode 8 of Survivor 48, guys.
Thank you.
And you got it.
Hey, thanks for being here.